Today I wanted to give a brief overview into the difference between the Magistrates Court and the Crown Court. In a subsequent video I then want to go into when a defendant is charged with an either way offence, which court they may decide to have any trial in, whether they may wish to have it heard by a bench of magistrates in the Magistrates Court or by a jury in the Crown Court. But for this video I decided I would provide an overview into some of the differences between the Magistrates and Crown Court. So in the Magistrates Court, none of the parties wear wigs and gowns. The magistrates, the court clerk, the prosecutor, the defence lawyer will wear suits. No wigs, no gowns. In the Crown Court, the judge and counsel for the prosecution and counsel for the defence wear wigs and gowns. In the Magistrates Court, the matter is heard before a bench of 3 magistrates. These are not lawyers, they are not paid. They volunteer their time, unpaid, to sit as magistrates possibly 3 or 4 times a month, and they will hear trials and they will be advised by the court legal advisor on matters of law, but the magistrates make the decision whether or not a defendant is guilty or not guilty. The one exception to that is when a matter is heard by a district judge. A district judge is a lawyer, they are legally qualified and they sit alone, and if a trial is heard before a district judge, then the district judge themselves on their own decides whether the defendant is guilty or not guilty. In the Crown Court the matter is entirely different. Matters of law are dealt with by a judge, but the decision whether or not a defendant is guilty or not guilty is made by a jury, and a jury is made up of 12 people who have been selected off the electoral roll to go to court to decide collectively whether a defendant is guilty or not guilty. The Magistrates Court is perceived as being less formal. The Crown Court is perceived as being more formal, although there are exceptions to both. It is perceived sometimes that a trial in front of a bench of 3-day magistrates who regularly attend court may sometimes be perceived as leading to a greater likelihood of a guilty verdict, and it may be perceived in some circumstances that 12 lay members of the public called to form up a jury may in some circumstances be more likely to return a verdict of not guilty.